from beneath the sand. Please don't take me close, seems so far away. Across this universe, she lives another day. I know the reason she stays. I know the reason she's so far away. I know the reason she stays. I know the reason she's so far away. How could we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step to fall. How could we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step. How I know the reason she stays. How I know the reason she's so far away. How I know the reason she stays. How I know the reason she she's so far away.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. And we'll chase the night, erase all of these broken dreams in flight.
Checkity check. Hello. Welcome. Holy shit, that mic's hot. Whoa, it's hot like fucking fire. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. All right. There's 4 of you already in, just waiting for me, waiting for my fucking arrival. Oh my god. It's so nice to see some fucking people in the fucking thing waiting for me. Because I feel the need to be needed. I was let's see. Let me turn this fucking shit down. Holy shit. How do I do it? You know what? Fuck it. Shut off. Hey, bye. Goodbye. Good morning, everybody. I'm in one of my moods. It's the top of the hour. I was a little bit late to my own fucking podcast because, well, the mic stopped fucking working, and now people are texting me. What the fuck's going on here? Goddamn people. People trying to throw money at me. Little bitches. I'm a little bit late to my own podcast because, you know what? I mean, sometimes the mic just doesn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't work, okay? And it's Friday. It's Friday the 13th. It's the harvest moon. And if you believe in any of that shit, if you're like if you're a superstitious hippie, if you're one of those fucking cunts, superstitious hippie, planets are aligning, whatever, it's fucking whatever's in Mercury, fucking contragrade, you might as well stay inside today. Okay, it's Friday the 13th on the harvest moon. You might as well just stay inside all fucking day. Actually, second thought, if you're a hippie, just stay inside. In general, just always stay inside. Just be inside all the time. No one wants to see you. Just stay inside. Why would you come outside? I mean, what are you gonna do but like complain about what I don't know, what fucking type of person walked into the 7-Eleven today? Let me just fucking excuse me first. Get a bit of mood lighting in here, okay? I forgot that I didn't shut my fucking light off. Welcome. Hello, Rachel Welke. Good morning. Good morning, my love. I don't know why I said that, but that's how it is. I don't say that to anyone. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, good morning. My fucking head is pounding this morning. I think it's because the weather is changing. I've got my fucking Red Bull here, though. That should cure it right up. I'm hearing all kinds of rumbling noises outside. What's going on? Where's my fucking phone? Okay. So, a few things to cover today. You ever just fucking go through a week and just everything it just happened? It's just like, okay, I thought I did the podcast. I thought I did last week's podcast like yesterday, and it's fucking it's already today already. Of course, it's it's Friday. They had a bit of a, I don't know, realization that I had to do it a day earlier. So the fucking I don't know, the shit fucking happened. Anyway, had a new video come out yesterday, and it's doing pretty well. It's the fritomlet. Everyone thought it was a Frito omelet, which I know in turn now that it sounds like a fucking great idea. Maybe I should make a Frito omelet. That would be fucking, I don't know, fucking good? Good? I don't know. That was a fucking weak burp. Linux9, hey boy, she comes into the chat fucking sliding on a goddamn popsicle stick. Good morning. I had, it's, you might be wondering about the title of this podcast, Late Bloomer. I was just thinking the other day, I was thinking, which is, it's a, oh boy, he's thinking, oh, that's not good. That's not good. Fucking, I was thinking about this this morning. I was like, well, what am I going to title it? Because now I'm at the point where I have 20 of these podcasts in. I'm 20. This is episode 20 of some young / old / ugly fucking dumb cunt in his basement. Got a hold of a microphone, got a hold of a stand. It's like, hey, make a radio show out of my fucking basement on YouTube. On the fucking YouTube. So, anyway, I was thinking, 29 years of age. Just turned in June, 29. Old guy. A lot of people, a lot of young folks are calling me dad. I don't know what that's about. I mean, a lot of kids don't have dads, so can't exactly blame them when a slightly older fella comes into the chat and starts, giving them life advice and shit. It's always funny, I keep getting added to these group chats, and these there's always this weird line now where they're usually younger folks because in the meme community, it's gonna be younger people. And they're like, hey, what's this fucking old guy doing in here? How old are you? And I'm like, older than you. If I had an accident at 15, could be your dad. They're like, hey, what the fuck? This guy's creepy. What the fuck? And I'm like, no, I'm very transparent about my age. Very transparent about my objective, which is to cram my YouTube content down their little throats until they can't handle it anymore. Okay, that's the only thing I'm cramming down anyone's throat, really. Off to a fucking weird start here today. It's in 13 minutes past the hour. I hope my mic sounds good. It decided to just stop working. Like, why? Why would it work? Like, I need you, buddy. I need you. Why aren't you working? Okay, those are good sounds. My dog's playing. I think she's as long as she's not fucking barking. Sometimes she hears me down here, running my fucking mouth, trying to figure out a different way, a better way to put kibbles on the table, and she fucking starts barking at me because she thinks I'm an intruder. Fucking border collie. Barks at every goddamn thing. Rob E.G., obviously, YouTube blocked your comment. He says, nigga. Okay. All right. Good morning to you, Rob. Rob E.J. Okay. Right on. Good to see you there, buddy. It's Vlone in this motherfucker. Oh, shit. Vlone forces coming in strong. Straight into the fucking chat. Straight into the chat like my boy. He's got that fucking devil emoji, which means, you know what that means. That means only one thing. He's out here looking for pussy, boy. He's out here in this universe instead of it hitting the streets. Instead of fucking, he's got his pants riding low, but that's because he's fucking scooching up into his gamer chair. That boy should be out there in the streets, hustling, looking for some fucking poo nanny. But you know what? It's 11 a.m. Most of those young bitches aren't even awake yet. So yeah, I might as well watch a fucking old kid do his thing, So welcome, Vlone. Welcome, my boy. One of my very few African American friends. I've got. That's another thing I was thinking about. Oh, he's thinking again. Oh, everyone's subbed to follow. Why the fuck do they keep blocking all your comments? YouTube, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna do Kanye right now. I'm gonna be like, YouTube doesn't care about black people. YouTube don't care about no black people. That's how it is. That's how it be. Thank you for for suggesting that the good people of the internet should sub to Father Luke, the guy who is the father of like 30 fucking kids now. So, I don't have any kids of my own. So now I have like 30 fucking children. Call me dad, okay? Oh, my head is fucking pounding, dude. Oh. Sometimes you wake up and it's the weather change. Don't sleep in the right position. I've got all these knots in my fucking neck that from years of headbanging at concerts. These giant fucking knots right here. So if I don't have my neck completely straight when I'm sleeping, I get these fucking gnarly headaches, dude. It's brutal. And then the weather changes, get these fucking this sinus shit. Fucking gnarly, dude. Really, it'll last all day if I don't take ibuprofen or drink a bunch of caffeine, which I'm currently doing right now. Man, I'm going off tangent after tangent after tangent. As for the title of this fucking thing, it kind of ties in a little bit with me, talking to minors on the internet. I've typically been a late bloomer recently. It's kind of weird because when I was younger, I'd roll up to the playground with fucking full-on armpit hairs, man. I'd have fucking full beard when I was like 12, man. Fucking Mediterranean problems. This right here is like 4 days. It doesn't stop, man. It does not fucking stop. I wish there was there's a lot of guys that are like, oh my God, I don't feel like a man because I can't grow a fucking beard. Shut up, dude. You don't know what you're fucking missing. I mean, you don't know. What am I trying to say? You know what? I'm a fucking retard. You don't. I guess you could say that. You don't know what you're missing because you're missing something that you've never had. So you're like, you don't really want a big beard. In the grand scheme of things, you really don't. Okay, because when it comes to the time when you don't want a beard anymore, you really wish that you just couldn't get a beard because it gets annoying, man. You got to keep it clean. You got to fucking when I had my beard, it was down there for a while, and that shit got fucking gnarly, and I never used any kind of product on it. Why the fuck would I do that, right? I would get the worst beard dandruff all the way through here because the water would just sit there, after I took a shower or whatever. It would just fucking sit there and just eat away my skin, and I would just have these flakes, which I guess some ladies might be into, right? Long story even fucking longer. Why the fuck would that happen? Long story even fucking longer. I was an early bloomer as far as body hair goes. When I was a kid, people made fun of me. People made really relentlessly in middle school made fun of me. Bullied me for having armpit hair and shave your armpits. And bitch. Then 2 years later, they're like, oh, I can't grow a fucking armpit hair. I can't grow fucking beard hairs. But now I'm on the opposite end. See, all these kids that I knew back in the day, they had all experienced a lot of shit that I didn't until later. Fast internet connection. I'm not complaining. I'm glad, I'm happy I grew up where I did. I would never ever trade it for anything. Fucking growing up in the sticks, where there's not even a paved road for miles, let alone let alone a fucking a cable to run some internet connection, you know? Yeah, long story, even longer Jesus story of my life. Why am I like that? It's the woman thing, I guess. Yeah, what are you trying to say, Rachel? Trying to say I'm like a woman? Huh? No, it's a fucking it's a cunt that has way too much stuff going on in their head thing, I think. That's what I think it is. So, not calling you a cunt, which, you know, maybe you are. I mean, I don't really know you. We're all kind of cunts, right? Starts off his podcast calling his fucking fans a cunt. Okay. But that's everything. Every video I starts out with the word cunt, and I like it. And I'm going to keep it that way because people like it. Anyway, so I never got the fast internet connection. It's not like you could run a fucking cable through the mountain. I mean, you could, but it'd probably cost millions of dollars to provide service to like 100 people. That wouldn't work out. Probably like way more than, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they'll get high speed at some point out where I'm from. But, it humbles you. It humbles you. So I didn't have high speed internet connection. So therefore, I couldn't game online. Didn't really have many options for video gaming either. We did a lot of it, though. We had our fucking PlayStations. We had our fucking, in the early days, we had our Nintendo. Our old school one. So we did a lot of gaming on that. But I didn't even get introduced to the concept of gaming online until I was, I don't know, in my late teens. And only until recently, you know, I've fucking really been getting into it. I'm getting into gaming. So like, gaming and all kinds of other shit. You know, I don't know how these kids do it these days, man. I don't know how these fucking kids keep up. Like, I was thinking about yesterday. These young kids, all these younger guys that are like addicted to masturbating by the time they're like, 14. They don't have a chance, man. No wonder they're fucking jerking off all the time. I mean, not that we weren't, but it's like you really don't have you're just bombarded everywhere. When you're fucking 15, 16, whatever, anything will set you off. Man, when I was 13, my fucking 60-year-old grandma teacher would fucking bend a certain way, and I'd have to run to the bathroom, hang from the rafters a little bit. You know what I mean? My signature move, hanging from the rafters. So now kids have this shit in their pocket, high speed everywhere they go, and they're fucking bombarded. You open your Instagram and it's just twerking videos or whatever. These and the women are getting hotter and hotter. The technology is just nothing like it. I've never seen it before. Some of the women that are developing the biggest bubble butch I've ever seen. Some of the most prime real estate we've ever seen. Trying to figure out my chat here without fucking distracting myself, which I'm doing right now. Here we go. I'm trying to figure out getting it so where I can't see the delayed version of myself. It's just kind of throwing me off. That'll do. So yeah, late bloomer. I'm a late bloomer, man. I'm getting into shit that I should have gotten into 15 fucking years ago, probably. But I think it's good. I think it's good. In the long run, I think it's making me appreciate it more. I think it's making me appreciate the things that we have in this modern time. And when I get famous, I think I'll be able to handle it a little bit better than some people that may have blown up have their Instagram or fucking YouTube blow up, really early. I think I may be able to handle it a little bit better than some. So we have a few questions. Since I'm done with my rambling in the I don't know, my long intro. Hope you enjoy those tunes, by the way. It was just another supposedly royalty-free mix. Some melodic dubstep for you. Fucking notifications everywhere, dude. I can't handle it. We do have a few questions, so I'm just going to get right to those, okay? Before you get bored and run away. There are 6 of you. Thank you for showing up, saying hi. Make sure if you have a dumb question or a smart question or whatever, throw it in the chat and we can chat it up, okay? Wearing a hat today. Wearing a hat all week, actually, because my hair is a fucking disaster, dude. It's awful. Okay, so I'm just leaving the hat on. Just leave it on. I should just fucking wear a paper bag on my podcast. I'd probably get more views that way. Rachel Welke coming in with the questions. What was the best thing before sliced bread? That's a good one, man. I mean, sliced bread, that wasn't even very that's pretty recent, right? That's like less than 100 years ago people started pre-slicing bread before it came out of the fucking bakery, Oh man, bread is so good. Why is bread so good? Fuck. Got that sourdough for that fucking video yesterday. Jesus Christ, man. Fuck. Bread just... Sourdough, a good piece of sourdough with some butter just hits that spot, man. Every morning, I love the breakfasts I make. It's usually no carb. I have no carb during the day, usually. Like carnivore motherfucker during the day, just ripping legs off of fucking field mice, throwing them down my throat. Man, the sourdough just seals it all together. My bacon and eggs and shit. That's what it's always missing. That's why I make my eggs so weird. Of course, people are looking like people are making this new from this new video. I think people are making the recipe because it looks fucking dank. It is fucking dank. People are wondering where the onions go. It's just it's movie magic, people. That's why I make my eggs so fucking tough, I guess I should say, because I'm trying to make it like bread. Anyway, what is the best thing before sliced bread? I would say breadhead. That's the best. When you fucking when you take a loaf of bread and you fucking poke a hole in it and you put your dick through the bread and then someone blows you from the other side. There you go. That's the best thing. That was the best thing before sliced bread. Sliced bread head, or bread head, I should say. Bread head was the best thing. Since sliced bread. Okay. Rachel Welke again with the questions. My take on deep fakes. Oh man, deep fakes, dude. I really don't know what to think about deep fakes. I feel like it's been going on a bit longer than people say. But dude, the technology is fucking going strong for deep fakes, dude. This shit is getting unreal over here. I have a weird fucking I don't know. I have a weird stance on deepfakes because well, it's not weird, I guess, because it's really fucking up people's lives as far as on the porn aspect. Have all these. I think it started I don't know why I keep scratching my nose. It started with I think it mainly started, or it went viral with Emma Watson, where somebody stuck her head on a fucking porn star's body, and it's almost, at some points it's almost indistinguishable from Emma Watson actually taking it in the fucking rear and splooging all over. So in that aspect, I think it's fucked up. But then what are you gonna do about it? I'm a small government guy. Once we start legislating this shit, it's over, dude. Once you start throwing legislation on shit, I think that it really comes down to a community of people helping to self-regulate on the internet. Maybe making it a little easier to flag content for removal. Maybe self-regulation, not like, I know some people are just, there's a lot of people that just go straight to government, straight to government. The aliens have infiltrated Area 51. So, you know what I mean? It's like, sure, I'm not for like pasting people's faces on porn stars' faces, or whatever. I mean, I would be very, very upset if someone I knew or one of my family was a victim of a deepfake. I would be like I would be murderously rageful, if that's if I may say something so weird and out of I don't know, fucking ungrammarly. Is that a word? I'm bombing. But it makes for some great fucking comedy though. Like all the ones of Joe Rogan and Brendan Schaub and Chris D'Elia. Those are fucking awesome, dude. They're so funny. Like the one they post their faces on like different movie characters in these scenes. Like the one with D'Elia where they're in they're on that fucking show where they like the DNA results confirm you as the father or whatever. I don't remember what the fuck that show was. But they did one of those for with D'Elia and Brendan Schaub and somebody else. So those are funny. You can't deny how funny that is. It just sucks when it's like porn. It's always gonna be porn, dude. Always. I mean, like, you look around a room and there's gonna be porn for that. Like, I'm sure there's dehumidifier porn. Maybe there's a video of a girl sitting on a dehumidifier to get that little bit of vibration, The internet's a weird place. It really goes to show how deep the human psyche goes. How deep of a fucking rabbit hole you can go down. When it comes to fucking it's really it can be a little scary sometimes. You know what I mean? We had some more questions here, and feel free to pop into the chat, say hello. There's 5 of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for saying hello. This is these are all Q&As. So, what did this guy say? No, was it in the chat? I don't fucking know, dude. Well, yeah, Stellar Barista threw me one this morning. threw me a little bit of a fucking question in the Instagram, Luke_TheBear Instagram. By the way, if you want to go in there and talk some shit to me, send me a DM. Don't send toe pics. Don't want them. He says, got a question for the YouTube. Who is your favorite YouTuber? Me, of course. I mean, I think I'm everyone's favorite YouTuber, right? Isn't that like kind of a fact these days? I mean, how much better can you get than the best, right? I mean, me being the best YouTuber of all time. I mean, obviously, I would say I'm the best one. So, no, I'll tell you who my favorite YouTuber is. And that's the LA Beast. This motherfucker right here. This is OG merch. When I first was getting into actual YouTubers back in the day, I don't know. Funny enough, my mom introduced me to LA Beast when he was doing his smoking alcohol video, where he took a fucking like a 2-liter bottle, put a cork in the, or stuck a hole in the cork with a fucking one of those skinny bike pump, the needle bike pumps. You fill it, you put a little bit of alcohol, whatever alcohol beverage, in the bottom, and you pump that up. You fucking pressurize it, and then you pull the fucking thing out, and it like atomizes the alcohol, the fucking whatever drink you put in there, and then you just suck it up. And he got totally fucking faded that way. He was doing it with everything. Like he did it with Jaeger Bomb. He did it with fucking Budweiser. He all kinds of shit. Vodka, whatever, Jack Daniels, and boxed wine. And he's like at the end, he's like totally fucked up, and he's like, go and smoke some boxed wine. Get you some boxed wine. Smoke some boxed wine. And that's what got me into the LA Beast. And till this day, I follow him like a fucking, I don't know, like he's a fucking religious leader. Yeah, same, dude. Same. Got a hangover just thinking about that. Yeah, I have a hangover from just being alive, so that's cool. I haven't drank in 5 years. Still get hangovers from just fucking, I don't know, just from being a human in the world. So that is what that is. Oh yeah, fucking 9/11 was this week. So that sucks. Yeah, that was, there's a big theme that I'm seeing these days as far as that shit goes. And it's, it's weird that that such a crazy attack happened on our soil, and it's just like common. It's just common thought that it was an inside job. It's just like everyone's like, yeah, well, yeah, the government, the U.S. bombed its own people to get involved in a war, basically. And that's been like a common theme, I guess, especially in the past, I don't know, 15 years or so. But now the theme this year, there's always like a narrative that's gone with it, is that, it's like the never forget thing. But it's like, I was listening to somebody say, they say never forget, but it seems like people forgot about 9/12. You know, people forgot really like what it really was. People came together, obviously, in the U.S. People were freaked out. I was having a conversation through chat with a kid the other day, and it was like, everyone was freaking. The entire country was fucking freaking out during 9/11. You know, and rightfully so, because we're supposed to be the most powerful, safe country in the world, and lo and behold, some fucking freaks hijacked some planes and ran them into some buildings and killed 3,000 people. What? Like it? Oh, so it's that easy? You're saying? And I've been the question actually surrounding this from Steve was any conspiracy theories that you believe are true. I had some chick try to convince me that 9/11 was fake. I watched it live on TV. I was, as a lot of you know, I was really deep into conspiracy shit when I was younger. Like deep. Yeah, to the point where it like drove me nuts. I need to fucking give myself some more slack here. But in my older age and fucking, not drinking anymore and having a little bit more clearer look on how the world is and shit, I've really had to tone shit down, and really kind of do a little bit more research before I come to a fucking conclusion, which is what, you should do anyway, always. Both sides of the fence. It's sometimes it's hard not to be biased on certain things, but I don't know. Was 9/11 fucking an inside job? We really don't have any way of knowing. I mean, you hear these fucking you hear these stories and you see these videos of people that were there. The one that really struck me with 9/11 was there's this video. I don't know if it's like propaganda or whatever, but there was a video of these firefighters getting people out, and the building had the basement, the floor level of the building had already fucking a bunch of explosions had gone off before the plane hit. Like probably about 10 or 15 minutes before the plane hit, a bunch of explosions went off and blew all the windows out in the basement and in the floor level. That was the most convincing for me, for be like, okay, well, what the fuck, what's going on here, but it could have been a total fucking misinterpretation on people's part. Maybe there was, think about the force of a plane hitting a fucking building like that. It's going to shake these buildings to their core. Maybe the plane had already hit up above, who knows, but I don't know. I really had to back away from that shit, the conspiracy shit, at a relatively young age, dude. It was driving me nuts. I was like, well, me being an anxious person anyway, it's really not sustainable to think like that. I've known several people that are old and still think that way, and it really just fucks their life up, dude. It really makes them just not desirable to be around. Yeah, I don't know, man. Having fucking... Sure, 9/11 could have been an inside job. Could have been. But, and, hey, what if it was? What if it fucking was? We needed that oil, man. How else are we going to get the fucking oil? Huh? We're the U.S. We got to get our oil. We need oil. We're a hungry country. We're fucking starving for oil. We got to get oil, man. So, yeah, a couple people die in the process. Whatever. Fuck it. Right? I'm going to hell. Yeah, so conspiracy theories. I don't really follow conspiracy theories anymore. So, there have been conspiracy theories that have been turned out to have been true, like the whole Watergate shit and all this. It's funny how for me the fucking definition of a conspiracy theory has changed for me personally over even the last couple of years. Like the whole Putin collusion, the Russian collusion thing, turned out to be total bullshit. And all this shit, like all this made up shit that people are worried about nowadays, like the fucking people having like, I don't want to fucking alienate anybody by saying going too deep into my own fucking opinions on shit, but I don't know, just like made up oppression, I guess. I consider all that to be conspiracy. Like saying that a lot of things are racist, like inherently racist. Shut the fuck up, dude. And I like sports. There's people are saying sports is inherently racist. I find all that shit to be conspiracy theories. A lot of people are so fucking concerned about race these days, and it's ironic that it happens to be people, the people that you wouldn't expect to be obsessed with race, like saying people on the left and all that. You wouldn't necessarily expect those type of people to be just totally hung up on race. But they are, and I find that to be very conspiracy-minded kind of shit. And when most people just want to live their lives and feed their kids and, take a shit once in a while, I hope this podcast isn't too boring. I actually had some subjects I wanted to cover. So, I'm going to go ahead and open my notes. Had a few things I wrote down. So I'm just gonna fucking rattle through it, I already covered that I'm a late bloomer. Got into the online gaming community as an older person, which is fine. There's a lot of I think it's an industry to have a bunch of hewers in the on the Instagram, I think it's just kind of, people have figured out that it's kind of if you can get the right camera angle, if you can take a few more squats than usual, lunge up a couple more stairs, you can get a pretty nice butt, you can get a pretty good picture of your ass, even if you're not as desirable looking as some. Instagram is really revolutionizing how the young whores can get their content out there, and it can be a bit misleading when there's a fucking 13-year-old girl posting fucking booty pics on the internet. It can be a bit it's inappropriate. Really shouldn't. I mean, I'm not for regulating people necessarily, but when it's children on the internet, maybe we should tone it down a little bit there, guys. And that's why I say, if you're gonna do it, and like I said, I'm not in for regulating people too much. But I would say, young girls, thank you for putting your age in the description of your Instagram. This is a public service to all good men out there. Putting your age and the year that you're graduating high school in your description is a must if you want to be an e-thought, If you want to be a fucking, booty pic, Instagram, thick-thighed, goth GF on the Instagram, you have to. It's the rules now, okay? I'm the father of Instagram. I'm the dad of Instagram. And that's why I say, put your age, at least put your age in the description. So, if I see, a lot of guys are skimming through Instagram and they see a thumbnail of they see a picture of a pretty looking girl, and it's harder to tell these days how old these fucking girls are, especially with all this makeup you can throw on, all these early bloomers like me. It's pretty hard to tell sometimes. So thank you for doing that if you do it. And it's just the rules for me now. You have to do it. Or just, stop posting like a whore when you're 14, 15 years old. Maybe you should just not do that. Think about the implications of, career, family. What if your fucking Aunt Mabel fucking stumbles upon that shit? What Gen Xer is named Mabel? That's my question. So yeah, there you go. Young girls, post your age in the description, or just stop posting like a whore. Okay. I have a lot of these younger men that try to ask me for dating advice or whatever. And for one, I don't know how really you do it in 2019. This is why I'm so glad that I'm not. Another reason I'm so glad I'm not fucking dating right now. I'm in a good relationship. Vintage is in. Oh well, yeah, I guess. Vintage is like, it's weird what vintage is now. Like 90s is vintage now. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, these younger dudes are, asking me for fucking advice and shit on dating. How do I get chicks? How do I get laid? And all this shit. And I'm like, well, it's almost like these days you almost have to like have a fucking waiver slip around with you, if you can fucking trick a girl into riding your knob for a little bit, it's like fucking shit, dude. You could, now people can use any excuse to fucking accuse you of rape. So, young dudes are terrified, and again, no wonder they're fucking just, fuck it. It's easier just to jerk off, But I would say, let's say, jerking off all the time is really not good for you. It's really not good for the fucking psyche. It's not good for your drive. What was the thing? Some fucking dude said one time. It said, what what is it? It's good not to masturbate because it makes you rape your wife. So one of those things. The thing that I've been pushing lately is, if you can't get laid with the girls that you have in front of you or whatever, at your school, or if you're of age, shall I say, you go into the bars and there's just these fucking soulless, fucking blank-faced whores at the bar, and they're just not doing it for you. There's just nothing there. They never fucking, they never climbed a mountain. They never fucking, they don't have experience. They never screwed a guy out of all of his money. Find yourself a dirty MILF, or even a fucking JILF. They're out there. They're fucking, they're ready to go. There's so many of them out there, dude. Single mums, alone together. They're out, they're ready to go. They know what they want. They'll go right for it. They're like, they'll polish you off, get it done right, and, send your ass to bed, with some fucking milk and cookies. I think it's a beautiful thing. And, dirty MILFs, I say dirty MILFs need loving too. Okay, so think about that next time, young men out there. And I don't know, what is it? It's not as, what's the opposite? DILF? Dad, I'd like to. It's not as, doesn't have quite the ring to it that a MILF has, doesn't have quite the prestige, I would say. So maybe not the DILF, but some girls are into that. Some girls are into a daddy man, you can't knock them for that shit. So anyway, moving on. It's a weird podcast, man. I got to admit, man, I'm not feeling too great. My fucking head hurts, and it's just because of the fucking weather change and me not sleeping well. So, it's all good. We'll push through this shit. Only got, we're almost an hour in already. Let's see here. There's a bunch of people that are, there's always people talking shit about fucking certain music. And Tool's new album came out. I got a chance to listen to a bit of it. And obviously it's fucking awesome. Sounds great. And of course you see there's a bunch of people on fucking line that are shitting on it. There's always people shitting on something, no matter what it is. No matter what comes out, there's always people fucking shitting on it. The new Tool album, it's the same old shit. It's fucking, like, what else should it be? It's Tool. And if it didn't sound like the old shit, a bunch of people would be pissed about that. But I think it's a beautifully produced album so far. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. What if it just turns to shit after the first 45 minutes after I listen? Turns into just like a fucking monkey bashing fucking cymbals together for an hour. Which you wouldn't put it beyond Tool to do that. To those people, to the people that talk shit about these bands come out with music, they've been working on this album for 13 years. the challenge that I bring to you is do better. Can you do better? Can you make a fucking better record than Tool? No, I didn't think so. So why don't you shut your fucking mouth? Keep listening to your fucking mumble rap shit. Even though I kind of like a lot of mumble rap. Yeah, that's kind of a cheap blow, actually. What should I say? Go keep listening to your fucking your radio rock. That's like so overly produced and so fucking the mastering. I don't know how they get away with this shit with all these new all the radio shit. You know, everything that play on the radio. All this pop music and all that good shit. It's so like, as someone who's listened to all types of music, there's no, and I'm also like a audiophile in a way. That's why when I'm playing a show, if I'm always tweaking knobs, I'm always playing around with shit just to get the right sound. And the thing that I notice with a lot of shit they play on the radio, it's so overly produced and so fucking weirdly mastered that there's no warmth to it. Like you hear a really good record of like I don't know, some doom band or like some of the band Earth, their old, some of their old records and shit. You can hear a warmth to the sound. And with this shit they play on the radio, it's like there's this even listening to it like on a MP3 or whatever, it's like it has this like weird static behind it that I don't know if people can really hear unless they're like, I don't know, unless they have like a good musical ear, you know. I don't know. It's just it's hard to enjoy it when you can hear it. And now I probably just ruined it for everybody that enjoys. Everybody, 3 people. Everybody that enjoys a good, song on the radio, which, there's some songs that I can get along with, but when you listen to it loud enough and you can hear that fucking buzzing, that fucking static in the background. It's really weird with all the fucking, God, my nose, everything itches. Am I on drugs? So a meme that I need to lay to rest, because it's dead, and I need to officially lay it to rest. Okay. The doggo Instagram video language. I was just recently following what is it? Doggos doing things on Instagram. I had to unfollow that page. There's like these, I just don't think that people really realize. God, fuck it. Everything's fucked up today. I don't think that people realize what that is when it's like, oh, doggo doing a sit, Oh, hello. Can I has treat, It's dead. It's dead. It's been dead for a long time, but people still people keep perpetuating it, and it's just cringe now. Okay, so got to stop doing it now. Okay. It was that type of language, that weird doggo henlo shit, that started as like an obscure meme, not an obscure meme, a surreal meme. If just type in surreal memes, and you'll have a great time. You're gonna go on a magic ride to the weirdest part of the internet. Surreal memes are where it's at. But that was a surreal meme, and now Johnny, I don't like calling you Johnny. You are correct. It's for basic bitches now. It's like Facebook, Facebook mom meme material shit. And it just, I had to quit following doggos doing things because of it. It's just cringe now. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny anymore. I can't do this anymore, man. The dogs are cute. Sometimes I'll call my dog a dogger. I stopped saying henlo a long time ago. Just couldn't do it anymore. It started with the doggo memes. The fucking Shiba Inu dog that's all over the internet. I think that dog fucking died. RIP in the chat. Yeah, animals die. Anyway. Yeah, that doggo Instagram language it's over. It's over. Do something else. Even though those videos, who am I to fucking judge, I'm sitting here with 200 views tops on a video, and that's a really good video. These guys with these fucking cutesy henlo doing a what is it? Doing a fetch, doing a sit. No, ooh woo is for life. Don't get that twisted. That I don't think that'll ever die. Well, it might actually. Some stuff will never die. Gotta keep driving. Peace, brother. All right, brother. Drive safely. He's heading down to Southern California to chop down some houses. Rebuild them. We will rebuild. Good thing to know on this podcast is if you go to, after it's all done and posted, if you go to Apple Podcasts, the podcast app, or iTunes or whatever it is, this podcast is actually downloadable on iTunes now. So you can listen, you can listen offline if you need to. I could use a little bit of time on there, but the watch time on here is what matters the most. But if you choose to, it's just, you just search TheBear on iTunes or the podcast app, and you should be able to find this podcast on there too. So it's just an RSS feed, feeds right to the fucking to iTunes. It doesn't always play for me, but it actually, they've been starting to play now. I think it's a server issue, really. So, but if you want to download this podcast for listening on the road, so you don't use your data, you can do so there. So I can't project my insecurities about that because I have a phone with only like 12 gigs of storage space, but a lot of you all can have your 80 gigs or 100 gigs or whatever. You have a little bit of space to work with there. So so maybe give that a try if you're on a road trip and you want to fucking if you want to not use all your data streaming a 1080p video. Unfortunately, it does not. It doesn't do just the audio, which I wanted on the podcast app. But I guess that's just the way it be sometimes. You know what it is? It's been an hour, and you know what that means. that means that Rachel gets some more music for her work break or whatever. Her fucking not work break. What am I trying to say? For her work session. God bless Rachel for listening while at work. I'm sure some other people listen at work as well. Let me pull that last video up if my fucking history hasn't been. There we go. Cool. Let me turn this on. Fade this back in. Okay, kiddos. Is that gonna work for us? Just listen. Alright, cool. So y'all just sit tight. Gonna fucking go take a little bit of a break. And I'll be back in just a few minutes. So enjoy the tunes. Enjoy the ooh-woo shit that I just put on. And see you in a few minutes.
Trying to open. I tell you love you more, and you say it's broken. You make me weak. You're the one that I need. And I hate that I love you. I hate that I love you. If I could, and I would, come with your heart. Come with your heart. I'm
All right. I am back. Welcome back to the stream after a quick break there. Just needed to, need to get out there and fucking drain that vein. Get a fucking, get a couple stretches in there. You know what I mean? Pull out the Jimmy and slap him around a couple of times. Even close the toilet lid on him. You know what I mean? Make sure he's in shape. So kids, I have a couple shout outs. And thank yous, I guess. It's weird saying thank you, but I gotta start getting into a better, more of a habit of it. I gotta thank everybody who has been donating on the PayPal. It's weird to believe that, people would be donating to a dumb cunt rambling in his basement, complaining about, shit that he can't change. Trying to be somebody, I guess. When in actuality, maybe he won't be anybody. But, the people that throw, $20 here, $15 there, $5 there, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Even though sometimes I complain, sometimes I don't feel like doing it. Like today, I didn't really feel like getting down here and fucking powering through this headache to fucking get in here and do this. To try to, see if I can entertain a couple of you cunts out there in internet land. But, really appreciate it. And, obviously, again, as I have to do every time, going to have to put my PayPal in the chat. PayPal.me/Luke TheBear. Helps the channel along, if you care about it. I mean, there's people coming in and out. There's usually I've had about an average of 3 or 4 people watching from beginning to end. So, and I think that number will only increase. Not that I'm, hugely concerned about having all eyes on me, but it's kind of the fucking the premise of this whole thing. The YouTube lifestyle. Much attention as you can. People like us, YouTubers or whatever. Through whatever fucking, I don't know, misfortune we had in our younger years. Mine was being a middle child. And as I've said before, being a middle child is like constantly having a really important thing to add to a conversation, but everyone just talks over you. Yeah, that's what it's like. If you're not a middle child, that's how it is. So that's just something I have to deal with, and I try to live by truth. Speaking of living your truth, the new special from our good buddy Bill Burr is out on Netflix, and you should definitely go see it. It's called Paper Tiger. It's easily one of the best specials that have come out, at least in the past few years. I mean, it's Bill Burr, which you got to expect that out of him, which is a lot of pressure to have, by the way. Basically, having to come out with content that is the best, because people expect that of you, being arguably one of the best comics ever. And the conclusion I've drawn from this shit, from watching his special, watching Rogan's last special, and some of these new ones coming out where the of the real comics, not these fucking clapter comics, not these fucking people that are just trying to get sympathy or whatever. The one-man showers, which is fine to have a one-man show or a one-woman show or a one-they show, whatever the fuck people are saying nowadays. It's fine to have that, as long as it's, as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you know what it is that you're doing. And I think the conclusion I'm drawing from these specials that are coming out of the real comics, there's I think we're starting to finally get into we're getting into the fuck you age. I was talking about this with my sister the other night. It's people are just so sick of this shit, like the shit that I was talking about last podcast when I got fired up about it. People are sick of the identity politics. They're sick of the the virtue signaling. People are done with it, dude, and it's showing now, and I'm really glad, because I think it's for comedy and for a lot of shit, for culture. I think it's gonna be really good. I think we're gonna pretty soon, maybe not in the next few years, but pretty soon we're gonna be seeing a real hard pushback, and we're already starting to, I think, but a real hard pushback against this fucking bullshit, this fucking the identity politics and all this shit. People are done with it. The regular people. It's just unfortunate that the fewest voices are the ones that get heard. The fucking psychos. But that was loud. So, yeah. Mark my words, people. We're going to be seeing a pushback against all this bullshit that we've been seeing over and over again. These fucking dumb cunts that decided that they run the shit, and at the same time can't handle a joke. I was just watching this video of this fucking giant pipe being hauled on the highway. I mean, it was fucking massive, dude. Like, let me see if I can pull it up real quick, actually. Pull it a shit up, Jamie. I mean, it's kind of got to show you. to make my point a little bit more more strong here. And obviously my computer's like, hey, you open Facebook there, eh? What you doing? Why are you doing that? Our CPU is CPU is about to max out here. What you doing there? Hey, buddy. I'm old. I'm an old man. What? Hey. Damn, son. It was on this girl's profile that. Okay, I'll just pull it up right here. Here, let me just fucking do that, and then do that, and then do that. How do I do this without? Fucking hell. Holy shit. Holy shit. Hold on. This is going well, isn't it? Damn it. It's okay, here we go. I'm trying to hide shit so people can't see. Oh, you know what? That I realized my fucking mic was off the whole time. Anyway. So hopefully you could have saw that thing. I was just talking about it. They had wow, that was really dumb. My mic just keeps fucking shutting off. It keeps fucking fuck. It keeps defaulting to other shit, and it's really annoying. So there's this giant fucking truck. Basically, there's just a bunch of trucks pushing this giant fucking this giant pipe that, you know, my penis could have fit inside very snugly. The people that complain, like, it was just something that came to my mind. The people that complain about shit that really doesn't matter. Those aren't going to be the type of people who are, you know, building society, you know? They're only the people that are benefiting from this shit and becoming soft because of it. Those people aren't going to be fucking driving a 18-wheeler. You know, the people that are complaining about I don't know, racism and sexism and shit like that. Those people aren't going to be, they're not going to be contributing to much. They may pay a couple dollars in taxes, and a lot of them probably don't even do that. So I'm an old man on my fucking podium here. So that was the point I was trying to make, by, you know, by derailing and having a bunch of fucking dead air on my own fucking podcast. So I should probably actually fix that right now. Hold on a second. I don't remember how to do it. Oh well. Anyways, I'm going to look at a couple other things here. Fuck. Anyway, this thing's gone pretty well, eh? So anyway, yeah, I just want to continue to thank you guys for watching my videos and shit, and you know, making it kind of worthwhile for me to do this. I know that, you know, sometimes it's tough to sometimes it's tough to keep going. It can be tough to even keep watching somebody, you know, but the people that really, I don't know, come in and I don't know, the some of the comments I've been getting lately, it's just it means a lot, I guess I should say, you know. It's really cool to see some of the people that are benefiting from what I'm doing. I'm not just making these videos that are, I mean, you know, a lot of the videos I make are, you know, at least the the recipes I do or whatever, pretty easy, you know, not that complicated of shit to do. But you know, it's it's just cool to see people that are actually like cooking my recipes, and like the comments on the chicken taco video, there's just endless comments of how you know, how much people appreciate them, appreciate the video, and how like vulgar it is and shit. There's a lot of it's just the people you wouldn't expect to be on those videos, like good looking black women. A lot of them are in there. You know, it's just, I don't know, it's funny. So I actually did have one thing I wanted to read in case I had a fucking moment, but I might have to look it up. So it's about it might be buried now, but it's about craftsmen. It's about people who work with their hands, and how like and well, not necessarily craftsmen, but people who are freelancers, you know, and how much of a fucking grind it is, and how tough it is, but also like you have to be kind of a certain type of person to do it. And it kind of struck with me because I've been in that. Here it is. See more. So this podcast may be a little boring to some, but you know what? It's me getting through it and filling my time. So you get what you get, okay? This is a thing about not too long. It's pretty long, but it's, you know, it's a good read. So maybe something to think about when, you know, you talk to certain people that are doing their own thing, and it seems crazy. So this guy says, I'm a pro luthier / builder. Most of you would consider me successful at it. I've been doing it nearly full time for 21 years, and I have a good reputation. And I usually have a waiting list for my bases and services. He builds bases, you know, instruments, guitars, whatever. But let me enlighten you with the ugly financial reality of this business. The net income numbers some of you are tossing around are pure fantasy. Most of us luthiers make a net hourly pay less than minimum wage. When I visit my tax accountant every year, he shakes his head, tells me to shut it down and get a real job. I'm not kidding. First things first, I've set a basic rate of $45 per hour. This is not my pay. It's what's called an hourly composite rate for the business. I need to make an average of about $30 per hour for 40 hours per week just to pay the overhead rent in my building, utilities, insurance, etc. Those are fixed costs that have to be paid in each month. So if I charge $45 per hour and complete 40 hours of billable work, see below, in a week, my actual pay is really only $15 per hour. That's $600 per week, which is less than most people with real jobs make. But here's the missing part. Try to complete 40 hours of billable work in a week, or trying to complete 40 hours of billable work in a week is much, much harder than it first appears. I only get paid $45 per hour for time spent actually at the bench, working on an instrument to be sold. I don't get paid anything for answering the door, talking on the phone to customers, writing emails, writing on forums, sweeping the floor, sorting lumber stock, ordering parts, driving to the lumberyard, etc., etc. I get paid $0 per hour for all of that time, but yet it's all completely necessary to run the business. For those of you who've never run your own business, that's the fundamental difference between having a job and working for yourself. At a job, you automatically get money for every hour that you are there, almost regardless of what you do or how hard you work or how many parts you successfully make. Working for yourself, how much you make per hour is completely dependent on how many parts you successfully complete per week. You can seemingly bust ass all week and end up making almost nothing. In reality, I work about 80 hours per week every week, and I'm doing well if I actually complete 40 hours of billable work. That's 50% ratio of billable hours to total hours, which isn't bad for a small business. Many businesses have a much lower ratio than that, like 20 to 30%. But what it means to me is that I actually get paid for only $7.50 per hour for all those hours, and only if I completed 40 hours of billable work. I hope this isn't too boring. This is just something I read a while ago and I wanted to read on the podcast. Now, most real businesses charge a much higher hourly rate. For example, most small auto repair shops charge $75 to $100 per hour. The mechanic working there makes $20 per hour if he's good. This kind of applies to me because I'm a mechanic. The rest of it is for the fixed overhead costs and that ratio of billable hours to total hours. Like I described above, by any standard small business model, I should be charging $75 to $100 per hour. When you think about it, my business is very similar to an auto repair shop in size and cost. Good little burp there. My next door neighbor used to be a one-man Porsche repair shop, and we used to compare notes. He charged $75 per hour, which he said was the minimum he needed to pay the overhead and take home a modest wage for himself. He thought I was completely nuts to be only charging $40 to $5 per hour. I mean, we had identical sized shops, the same overhead rates. I'm older than him with much more education and experience. I even used to be a Porsche mechanic. Okay, now, so why don't I charge $75 per hour like I really should? Because you guys, the customers, won't pay that much. It's as simple as that. Look at it from the cost side. A handmade custom base neck takes 8 to 12 hours to build. I'm not speculating. I've built hundreds of them, and I keep very accurate time records. The raw materials, wood, metal, and fret wire, cost about $60. So at $45 per hour plus materials, I price a 10-hour neck at $510 plus shipping. That's just for a basic custom base neck. If I charge $75 per hour, it would be $810. At $100 per hour, it would be $1,060. So how many of you would pay $1,060 for a custom neck? Just the neck piece of the guitar or the bass. Just about none. But is that unresponsible? It's the same quality of neck that you'd find on a $2,000, $3,000 bass. But if you read TB, you'd know that any neck over $250 is way overpriced and not worth it. Oh, I see. That's the way the business is. Most instrument customers are completely spoiled by 2 decades of very cheap imports, and that I've talked about that too with how like Walmart has influenced a lot of markets and shit, overseas imported shit, and instant gratification has really affected all this shit, and don't appreciate the work. Very cheap imports and don't appreciate the work and costs that go into building a custom base. That's the main reason why I no longer build custom necks at the retail level. It doesn't make any sense financially. Full instruments are the same. My new AMB2 scroll base, which I've just developed and introduced this year, takes me about 60 hours each to build. The materials cost $320, case $110, wood $50, metal $30. I purchased hardware $90, plating $40. So with the materials cost and charging $45 an hour, I need to sell them for $3,000. That's about right for the market, I hope, in terms of what the customers are willing to pay. But at $75 an hour, I'd have to get $4,820, and at $100 an hour, I'd have to get $6,320. It would be very hard to sell them at those prices. And that's my simpler, lower price model. My fancy series, blah 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 models that are built from 2006 to 11 took 110 hours to build with about $400 in material. I was selling them for $3,900 and losing my ass on everyone. That's why I stopped building them. If I priced them at $100 per hour, they would be $11,000. There would be $11,400. That's nice to dream about, but not realistic. Now, I'm a little unusual as a builder because I build almost everything myself and make most of my own metal, hardware, bridges, tailpieces, etc. Plus, I build my own pickups from scratch. And I do all my own painting in addition to the woodworking. So my cost numbers have higher labor hours and lower materials costs than most builders. If I were to offer a custom-made high-end Fender-like bass using purchased hardware and pickups and still painting it myself, it would cost around $700 for materials and $35 hours for labor. At $45 an hour, I'd have to sell it for $22.75. To me, that's about as low as you can go, a minimum realistic price for a custom-made, basic pattern instrument. To me, any builder who sells for less than that hasn't really counted up the labor hours, or they have a shop situation with no overhead. More likely, they are trying to set their prices based on what customers are telling them and not understanding how much money they are losing. Again, that's the nature of the business. Being a luthier is a glamour business. Lots of guys want to do it because it looks like fun. And it's fun, rewarding building bases. As a hobby or a tax write-off sideline, but trying to do it as a rational business is to make a living from it is just nuts. The finances don't add up. Oh. Soda backwards, not good. Again, that's the nature of the business. Being a luthier is a glamour business. If all of the above isn't depressing enough, that all assumes that everything goes great. Unfortunately, this business also has an enormous risk factor. When building an instrument, there are hundreds of ways that you can make a small mistake and end up ruining weeks or months of work. A small slip on a router fixture, a bad piece of wood, misreading a dimension, dropping a tool on a finished paint job, forgetting some feature that the customer asked for, etc., etc. These tiny things can instantly cost you an entire week's worth of billable hours or more. Remember, this is a fixed price business. If I agree to build you an AMB2 for $3,000, that's assuming that it's going to take me 60 hours to build. That's the best case scenario with no mistakes. If I get a couple of spots of contaminate it in my spray gun and end up having to repaint it twice to get it right, a true story. Jesus. I end up spending 90 hours on that instrument, and nobody is going to pay for those extra 30 hours. While I'm repairing that damage, I'm not working on other billable hour jobs. That overall problem is that there are so many fussy steps involved in building an instrument that it's nearly impossible to go all the way through the process without making any mistakes. Only after years of making the same instruments do you eliminate most of the mistakes. The financial penalties are huge, and you can easily get into a position where you've already lost so much money on the instrument that it seems pointless to finish. If you know that you're going to make less than $5 per hour, and you still have a long way to go, is it even worth it? Meanwhile, the customer is calling you every day asking if it's done yet. See the thread about Mickey's. Oh yeah, I encounter this so much. You know, something that even more recently, I had a guy come in and bring a project in that was seemed like it was going to be a simple project. But it turned out to be not a simple project at all. It turned out to be a really big head scratcher, and he called me every single fucking day. Also, custom build jobs always have 10 times the potential for mistakes and labor overruns. Trying to do custom builds on fixed prices is setting yourself up for huge losses. There are so many ways for things to go wrong and wipe out any money you would have made. That's why I stopped doing custom builds a long time ago. Happy customers, beautiful bases, and $5 per hour. Most luthiers, if they survive more than a few years, eventually move to building only their own models and fixed set of options. I hope this helps you understand how the finances work in this business and why we luthiers can sometimes be cranky and evasive and refuse to answer the phone. To go back to the original poster's question, most small shop electric bases luthiers effectively charge $35 to $45 per hour. That's driven by the market, what customers are willing to pay. Established guys like me get paid $15 per hour at best. Guys getting started are usually making approximately nothing. You can usually make better money just doing repairs with some careful management. The setup guy at Guitar Center makes more than I do. Yeah, the guy that just puts the strings on, tunes it. So you're probably wondering why I keep doing this. In 1995, I was making $100K at a corporate job. Last year, I busted ass all year and grossed $55K. On paper, my pay was less than $5,000 for the whole year. I barely paid the overhead and the groceries each month. I work 7 days a week and hardly have any money left over to play with. I couldn't possibly support a family or wife doing this, but I'm okay with that. I'm a hermit, mad scientist, wacko type, and I've chosen this lifestyle. It's just me and my dog in a building full of machines, making cool stuff day and night. This is how I want to spend the rest of my life. Bruce Johnson. So a dude named Bruce who builds fucking custom instruments. So, interesting read, I guess, it's just something I wanted to cover because it's, it seems to me not a lot of people realize what really goes into running your own thing, I've been doing my own thing for quite a while now, and moving into a shop, man, it's really taught me a lot, and I wouldn't trade it, but it's been I've been really learning, really had a lot to learn in this business, and I'm glad I've been doing it as long as I have. But man, there's I have people complain about. I have people complain all the time, about the prices of these bigger shops, and how they pass. I have customers that pass 30 shops to get to mine, and that does mean a lot too. But they complain about the shop rates and all that shit. But in actuality, you cannot blame a shop, even a small one, for having a high rate. Most of them charge anywhere from $60 to $100 an hour. But if they have six employees, $4,000 a month of rent to pay, bills, their own bills, the owner of a shop or whatever, you cannot blame them for that. What are they going to charge, $40 an hour? Like, come on. So, but if you can work it out and you have a skill with low overhead, you can make it work pretty well. Rachel Welke says, I think work that actually... Oh, Hello to the lovely Amy, by the way. Oh, and it's everybody say happy birthday to the lovely Amy, and her birthday is on Monday. So she's catching up with me in age. So everybody say hello and happy birthday to her. I think work that actually requires talent doesn't get enough credit nowadays. People would rather pay less for something of lesser quality. Oh, Rachel Welke got a dentist appointment. Bye-bye, you bastard. All right, well, thanks for being here as long as you have, Rachel. See you next time. See you in the next video. Don't be too hard on the dentist. He's just doing his job. Amy K says, that's so true. If you already have lots of money, you can do that kind of work for fun. To make a living wage is damn near impossible. Yeah. But, all that being said, I think it's really important to have a skill, no matter what it is. Anything from building a good cutting board to sucking a dick. It's good to have a good skill. I don't think that is I don't think that's valued enough right now. There's like 1 million jobs open. How many jobs in America are fucking open, vacant right now? Because people aren't focusing on skills. There's that whole thing, that whole campaign a while ago that fucked people up. The work smarter, not harder thing. That's what a fucking load of bullshit is that, huh? Work smarter, not harder. How about smarter and harder, huh? Why don't you get in there and fucking if you have a skill or you and you want to get somewhere with it, you gotta bust your fucking ass. There's no way around that shit, Then and lately I've been learning what the fucking I don't know. There's different ways of busting your ass, Commonly growing up, it's like, well, busting your ass is working your ass off, like, physically working your ass off. But busting your ass can be getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning and fucking, cranking out videos for YouTube. That's another way you can bust ass. You can really focus on, if you want to be a pro gamer, right? You have to play hundreds of hours. That's busting ass. You can talk shit about it all you want. You can say, what you can play video games for a living. Lots of people do it. It's a thing now. Busting your ass can be playing a game for 500 hours to get to be one of the best players at it. I think that's just as, it can be just as valuable. That's a skill. It's not really necessarily I don't know. You can argue whether it's a marketable skill or not. I think it is a marketable skill. Me being a person that is for any kind of economic growth, any kind of personal growth. The thing that people don't realize is with like Twitch streamers, because we're in that age now where this shit's starting to really blow up. These streamers build a community and they pass on a marketable skill, which is teaching people how to do things, teaching people how to get better. I've gotten better at video games watching Twitch streamers. You can't deny that. Do video games matter in the long run for society? Maybe, maybe not. But it's just another way to build community, I think, and I think that's ultimately positive. The problem is when you overdo it and you let it ruin your life, and you become a soft-bodied fucking basement dweller neckbeard like me. And you you ruin your life and you become unhealthy. You don't have any regulation as far as your diet or exercise. There's got to be a cap of how many hours you do something per day, I think. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Amy K says self-improvement is busting ass, even if your work is just something minimal. Yeah. Yeah, like I heard a dude say a little while ago, you got to have something to be striving for. You got to have a goal, whatever it is. If you're trying to improve yourself, then that's good. I think that's ultimately the best thing you can do, really. It ripples out, if you have a skill, especially one that you can market, one that you can, the thing is, it doesn't matter what I'm doing for a living or whatever. I've always made shit work, and I've always fucking pulled my resources together. It's like, okay, just simplify it and be like, okay, what do I have, and what can I do? Years ago, I was doing repair work out of the back of my SUV, and I had my tools, and I weighed my options. I had what I had, and I fucking worked with it. And that's what I usually do with pretty much everything. I mean, I have this. It's like, okay, we moved into this little house. It's pretty small, but I had this little basement down here. It was fucking nasty when I moved in. It had like a fucking inch of dirt on the floor. But now it's my little studio. So work with what I got. Have some having some imagination and some fucking. I think I'll always applaud myself for having for being resourceful. I think, and I kind of sometimes, one thing I get obsessed with is like trying to get the next thing that will improve my situation. It's like I started doing these live streams a while ago, Q&As, whatever. Found them to be really fun. Started building computers. Found it to be really fun. Started playing games and computers. It escalated, So now I've done 20 podcasts. This one almost done. I wanted one of these mic booms. So I got obsessed with trying to figure out the best deal on where to get one of these. It's one of those things. You just keep escalating, keep going. I wanted to do Twitch streaming. I thought it was cool, so I fucking did a research and figured it out. I wanted cool lighting, figured that shit out, So it's one of those things, I think it's good to get obsessed with how you're going to improve your situation, I think. People that get too comfortable, being too comfortable is, for me, is a huge, it can be a huge detriment. That's what I've learned, I think, is, I've been doing a lot of dog walking and shit, professionally. And it's fun to get out there and hustle, man. It's fun to get out there and fucking, me against the world with nothing, and then, try to figure out how to make a couple of bucks and bring it home at the end of the day. I think that's pretty awesome, What do we got here? So, who all fucking joined in? Rachel Welke came into the chat. Lytics9. She's my IRL friend, said hello. The Vlone Forces came in. It's good to see him in here. Johnny Wooldridge even popped in to say hello. Amy K. It's good to see all you guys in the chat. Just gotta, gotta rep my shit here. Luke underscore TheBear. That's my Instagram. Go hit me up on there. Got stickers. They're free. I'll send them to you for free. Don't care. I don't have Twitter because Twitter's fucking retarded. Obviously, got new videos coming out every week. I think I'm gonna be clipping. I wanted to do some clipping on the video last week, so I'll still be doing that. I had some pretty good moments in there that needed to be clipped because they're funny and good and entertaining. What else? Anyway, constantly improving. Fucking trying to get this shit rolling. We are at, last time I checked before this thing happened, this podcast started, we were sitting at 1,925 subscribers. So thank you all for that. We are 75 away from 2,000 subscribers. This is fucking awesome. I set a way too high goal for myself this year. I was like, I want to try to get 10,000 subs by the end of the year. Well, looks like that ain't happening. But you know what? 2,000, it's good enough for me. I wouldn't say the subscriber rate is going up very much, but it's pretty steady. 40, 50 a month. So if I get 1,000 a year, I think the ultimate goal for me, I think what will give me, I don't know, I'll be content if I hit 100,000 at some point in my career. If I hit 100,000 subs, I'll be like, okay, that's all I could ever wish for, if I get that 100,000 sub placard to hang on my wall, I think that'll be just fine for me. That is enough for me. That's a lot of people. So, and in that case, I would get probably 10,000 views per video, depending on how good they are. So, gotta check out, look into the future as well. So, at 1,000 a year. So how many? What would that be? 80 years? I think we can make it there in 80 years, right? To 100,000. Yeah, we'll make it. So anyway, if you want to help the channel out, if you like what I'm doing, share it. That's all I can really ask. Share it. If you have a video that's your favorite that I've done, share it with somebody. Encourage them to share it. That's really the best thing I can do here. I'm going to try to get... I'm going to be getting some more guests on pretty soon, hopefully. It's not really something I can plan out very well for the future. At least, without a little bit of notice. I'll probably have people back on, once I get the fucking, ball rolling a little bit. I haven't skipped one in a while now. And, these are helping boost watch time a lot. I mean, the amount of watch time I've been getting lately is insane compared to old numbers, Sitting at around 30,000 for the 30,000 minutes for the 28-day period or whatever. So it's up. Like if you look at the analytics, it's up it's up over 100% more watch minutes. So thanks for that, guys. That's the goal, man. Just trying to stay up above 20,000 per month, and that throws me into the perspective making money for doing this, making money for sitting here, rocking back and forth, talking into a microphone in front of a bunch of dumb cunts. So I'm a dumb cunt talking to dumb cunts. That's what we do here. So I'm about to wrap up, my friends. It's been a couple hours. Got some shit to do. Gonna be heading to the Oregon coast this weekend, tomorrow. Taking my doggy to the ocean for the first time in her little life, so that'll be fun. And celebrating the lovely Amy's birthday. So yeah, we're this is where we at, boys. Next week, well, in the coming time, I'm gonna be doing more gaming streaming. I'd like to see more dedicated videos coming out of this channel. If I could do in the future, if I could do 2 a week, that would be cool. That might be really beneficial. Whether it be a clip and a cooking video, a podcast clip and a cooking video per week, I think that I could make that work pretty well. So that's might be a pretty good low goal to shoot for. So, anyways, thanks for listening. I know it wasn't the best one. They're not all gonna be top tier. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Got some work to do, so I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Have yourselves a great fucking day. Go check out the new video and those new videos if you haven't seen them. Share the shit, whatever. And keep your bitches out of the kitchen. And I'll see you in the next one.